Hello and welcome back to Free of Fearful of Joy. I am Jahari. Hello, darlings. Hello, darlings. I'm a little overwhelmed and a tiny bit anxious because I've been on a hiatus for a month and a half. Just so you know out there, I was in Europe for a month and a half, traveling around, half the time in the UK, portion of the time in Italy, and then for a week-long family wedding in Puerto Vallarta. So,
Yay!
hello, I'm back. I'm back. And so, hello, darlings. Hello, darlings. Today we have our male guest, first male guest on Free Fearful of Joy, Aaron McNair of AM Inspirations.
Hello, darlings.
That's mine, okay? That's
I
mine.
thought I'd give it a shot.
That's a no for you. So I wanted everyone to introduce Aaron to the Free for Full of Joy family. He is a life coach and has been a physical trainer for a long period of time. I
This
don't know
is true.
exactly how long.
About 23 years.
23 years. So he's very inspirational, always has very positive comments, very uplifting, and I would like for everyone to meet them. So, hello, Aaron.
Hello, everyone, and it is absolute pleasure and honor to be here with Jahari and on the set of
Free of Fear,
Free
Full
of
Joy.
Fear and Full of Joy.
You're talking like a 70s DJ. Anyway, so Aaron, what inspired you to become a life coach? What sparked the decision for you to help people grow in their lives?
Well, I had been indirectly life coaching when I was fitness training all of my clients because, that's very personal one-on-one. So being the positive person that I am, I was giving a lot of that to them then.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know that that was preparing me to be in the space that I'm in now. But what really pushed me here was literally people telling me that they wanted to be like me.
Okay.
They wanted me to bottle up what I had, to sell it to them, and they would absolutely buy it. And that's what really pushed me into this space.
Okay.
Because I was fighting it for a little while.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds really inspirational. So you felt that you had a calling to this. So it was a pretty easy transition from personal training to life coaching and helping people
Yes,
along
I
the
would
way.
say it was very easy. And then entering into the space and being in it for a little bit, I realized that this was absolutely my passion and what it is that I'm supposed to be doing with my life, which
Right.
is utterly exciting, by the way.
It seems you seem very excited about it.
I am utterly excited.
So today we're going to go into what most of your clientele is in. They want to know how to build healthy relationships that are not toxic. I think we all want that. But I
Yes,
think
we
that we
do.
all have trouble seeing when we are in a toxic relationship, or maybe the relationship isn't toxic, but a dynamic in the relationship is
Right.
becoming toxic. So I know that a lot of people struggle with putting their authentic self out there. And can you share why people have trouble with that? And can you also explain why it's crucial to put your authentic self out there?
Well, I think, because I thought about this.
All right, I hope so.
I feel that the absolute main reason people are afraid to put their authentic self forward is because they're afraid to be judged, which
True.
is totally understandable.
Right.
Because, we're in a world where the humans are extremely judgmental of one another.
Right.
So, however, putting yourself, your authentic self forward, like truly being who you are, you're going to attract the energy of the people that love and like what you are. But how can you do that if you're not being your authentic self?
Well,
right?
yeah, I tend to tell women who ask me that, I'm like, listen, put your crazy out there. Somebody's going to think it's cute. Somebody's going to think
Hey.
your little crazy quirks are cute.
Everybody's
I know
got a
my
little
husband
crazy.
thinks that my crazy is cute. I don't think it's cute. He laughs when I act out.
I laugh
But
at you crazy too, because your crazy is cute.
thanks. 'Cause I'm unhinged. So,
True.
but yeah, I
Yeah,
think that
that's
a lot of
exactly
people
why.
put out a facade, and then they wonder why they're getting people that don't quite match up with them.
But I also think that people put out a facade because of so much that they see on social media.
Yeah.
So if you're
True.
following that, then you're not being your true self.
Right. You're constantly living in kind of an Alice in Wonderland state.
Exactly.
Right. So what are some other fears that people have about showing their true selves, and tell us how to overcome them?
As I stated, the main one is fear and being judged. And I understand that because there's so much of that going on, especially in social media. And also in social media, everyone is at their best.
They get 22,000 takes to get it right.
Exactly. And that's not how it works in real life.
No, it
So
does not.
I think that it's so important to really embrace who you are, because we're all unique individuals, and learn to love everything about yourself. And don't be concerned about people judging you, because regardless of what you do in your life, you're going to be judged.
Right.
That's just how life works.
So here's the thing. So is there like a exercise or some sort of thing that you can do as someone who's just, people have trauma, people have
Very true.
bad experiences, things like that. How do you get people to work around that?
Well, one of the things that would be most helpful is affirmations.
Okay.
If you tell yourself, and you should be looking in the mirror when this is happening. So you're talking to yourself,
Right.
which you're encouraging yourself when you're doing this, because the affirmations are all positive. I love who I am. I accept who I am. I'm funny. People adore me. People like to be around me. They like my energy. These are all positive things that you're feeding yourself. And if you're doing that consistently, you're elevating your confidence about
Right.
yourself.
Right.
And also accepting and beginning to truly love who you are.
Right.
And that's so important.
No, I agree with that. Like at my lowest point in life where I'm like, I was losing
I didn't
my
know that
house.
was possible for you, by the way.
Oh, it's possible.
Okay.
I've soared so much higher than that.
Yay!
But, the confidence in knowing that I could do that came from a meditation, a set of meditations that brought about Free of Fear, Full of Joy, where I said, I need to be consistent in my communications. I need to be fearless in my
Absolutely.
communications.
Absolutely.
I need to, love and appreciate the decisions that I made without fear and full of joy.
Yes,
so
dear.
all of that together brought about Free of Fear, Full of
Brought
Joy.
this
So
about.
I would encourage people to find that thing that's
That
keeping
thing.
them from, reaching that. So
And that thing is different for different people. Let me also add that prayer is really important,
true.
because that communication with God, you couple that with meditation and you add affirmations to that.
So if you don't believe in God, then what?
Well, the way that I speak about God, I usually say God, source, universe, something that's bigger than you are.
Right.
And people usually believe something
It's
way
bigger
beyond
than-
them that's not in
yeah.
the human form. Yes.
Right. Okay. So do you have any personal experiences? Like I shared my personal experience about how Free of Fear, Full of Joy came about when I was at my lowest confidence point. But do you have anything that, impacted you or your relationships, or you have an example of that?
Well, in my past, having arguments with people, not regularly, but, and I'm talking about romantic relationships, having arguments, first of all, that takes you to a low place because you're at odds with one another. And then, possibly there is no speaking and there is no sex. Who wants that, right? So, I came to this place, I said to myself, I don't want to do this anymore because of how it makes me feel. Mm-hmm. I only want to bring energy in my life that's elevating my life that's keeping me in this very high space of feeling confident and feeling beautiful about myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I really worked on not arguing. And in life, whatever it is you want to change, you have to work on these things. And the more you work on anything, you become better at it, more resilient.
So, yeah, working on that. And I will say that a lot of times people don't realize that they need to work on something.
That is very true.
And
That is
I,
very
I
true.
will use myself as an example. Like, I didn't realize the energy I was putting out, and I'm not talking about romantic relationships.
Okay.
Like that, I was very confident in. I was not very confident in my friendships. Because with friends, it's very different
That is
than
very
being
true.
in a romantic relationship. And so I realized that even though I had drawn boundaries with my significant other, I hadn't drawn boundaries
With your
with my
friends.
friends.
Yes.
So there was a lot of give from me and a lot of taking on the
From
other
them.
side without it being reciprocated. And
Exactly.
then, and not everything has to be reciprocated, like
True.
understand that. But the one thing was, going back to my mantras, was being consistent in my communication,
Absolutely.
and not being afraid of saying like, hey, my feelings are hurt here. I I feel like you did me wrong here, instead of holding resentment and
Yes, dear.
not being able to communicate. And so I felt like maybe there was like an issue in my confidence in the friendships that I had. So that leads me into my next question. So how much does confidence play a significant role in relationships? And does that affect the dynamic between partners? And, in your opinion, how does that work?
Well, I mean, confidence is huge in any area of your life.
Right.
Relationships, I mean, the more confident you are, the more you can express yourself. I mean, you just said it right now, and you weren't talking about romantic,
Yeah.
but you're talking about confidence. So when you became more confident, you were able to express how you feel.
Right.
And it's important to do that because people are not mind readers,
True.
and particularly in romantic relationship, right?
Listen, I just assume that my husband knows what I'm thinking.
See what I'm saying? This is exactly what I'm talking about.
I do, and I think that a lot of women do, especially when it comes to food. Like, you should know I'm hungry. You should know I'm hungry.
Oh my
You
gosh.
should know I'm hungry. If I have an attitude and it's for no reason, you should just know I'm hungry. Okay, and just get me some French fries or something, because
Or or you can just express that you're hungry. I mean, how much effort does that take?
you know what? It does take effort when you're hangry. It does take effort.
And it does
Sometimes I
happen.
don't even realize I'm hungry. And then I go, oh, I'm hungry. You're going to need to get me
Okay.
something to eat.
See how easy that was?
Yeah, it's easy, but you're going to probably deal with an hour of me being just really, really unpleasant before I
Well,
realize it.
let me just go ahead and put this
Anyway,
out
that
there right
just
now.
that took us off subject, but like, really, like,
Yes.
so confidence and expressing it, and how does
Yes.
well, I talked about the dynamic. We're going to have some issues until I get some French fries.
Okay. Well, we'll get you some from, is that right now?
It could be in like another 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, I believe we have someone here that can go and get you some
Right,
fries.
right.
Okay, so confidence, it makes you feel a certain way. And listen, when you have two people in a relationship that's confident, oh my gosh, it's going to be explosive in the most amazing, incredible way. Because what's happening, everyone is expressing themselves. Everybody's letting the other person know, their partner, what they want, what works for them, without being afraid to express that. And what comes out of that? Satisfaction. Hello. I mean, right? You're being pleased. You're being, the desires that you have are not going unnoticed.
Right. So
They're being fulfilled
Right.
because you have the confidence to share with your partner. I mean, and it could be something deep.
So, yeah. So, what if you're a person that struggles with self-esteem, and what steps should that person take to build their self-esteem? Because I know quite a few people out there, and this show is about empowering women.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I believe that there are a lot of women out there who have self-esteem issues that come from all kinds of different things. Familial, boyfriend
I understand.
relationships,
I
girlfriend
understand.
relationships, whatever. So, can you give me some steps? And you've already talked about affirmations.
Yes.
But let's talk about something else.
Okay. Well, first of all,
Yes, sir.
what you stated, which is really important, are steps. And they need to begin small because it moves you into the area of becoming more confident and not having self-esteem about yourself. So you have to learn how to love yourself more. That's because that's going to completely shift the way you feel about yourself, which gives you confidence. So you learn to love yourself more, which is going to enable you to express yourself more, and you're going to feel better about yourself. Therefore, you won't be accepting less. Because now you're in the space where you know who you are and you know what you deserve.
Right. So that brings us to worth, people understanding their worth. I feel like
Self-worth.
when people say like know your worth, that's very confusing because worth ties yourself to monetary things. Worth
Yes, and that's not what we're talking about.
about
No.
here. What we're talking about here is like doing your work through, journaling or
Exactly,
self-expression,
exactly. Self-expression.
or you and I both have the same thing, like we like to work out.
Yes.
So we work out
yes.
because that helps relieve some anxiety
Absolutely,
that
absolutely.
is blocking you from understanding what it is that you need to do to build your self-esteem. And guess what? There's a byproduct, a side effect to working out. It releases what?
Endorphins.
And what else?
Dopamine. Let's go, baby.
Right. And that helps boost your what?
Immune system, and it elevates your confidence.
Correct. Because guess what? Your body starts to change if that is what's bugging your self-esteem. Because for a lot of people, that is
No, this
what's
is
bothering
very
them.
true.
What's bothering them.
But also, you want to eat healthy because eating healthy is going to make your body feel better. And that in turn makes you feel, and all of these things are doing what? They're boosting your confidence.
They're boosting your confidence.
And then
Absolutely.
the self-esteem no longer exists in your life. That energy is gone forever.
Right. And it's a freeing feeling.
Oh my God, yes.
To like realize that you are more confident. So let's and with that can come a very bad side effect, which is arrogance. So let's discuss the difference between confidence and arrogance, and how can you make sure that you don't come off the wrong way?
Well, confidence is self-belief.
True.
Arrogance, you're above everyone else.
Absolutely.
You're looking down at the peons.
Right.
And that is a very negative and unattractive energy.
Right. There is an energy to confidence and an energy to arrogance.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And if you're not adept at picking up on energies, once you become more confident, you can absolutely see the difference between someone who's confident
Totally.
and someone who's arrogant, because someone who's arrogant is not going to be necessarily a person you want to be around. You won't really understand why.
They're not kind. They're not loving.
Right. They decide to judge you on whether or not you match their level.
Yes,
Or the level
exactly.
they believe that they are.
Yes.
So just understand that there is a difference between
There's a huge
confidence
difference, yes.
and confidence is sexy.
Oh my God.
Confidence is sexy.
There's a story. There's a story for
Oh,
confidence.
yeah,
and
that's right.
sexy.
That's right. You
So I
do
was
have
at
a
the
story.
gym the other day, and I saw this woman, very attractive, very beautiful body, which tells me that she's put a lot of work in on that.
Ah.
And so I was like, I'm feeling her confidence, her aura. It's all beautiful. So I went over to her and I said, hello. And I said to her, I'm going to tell you something that you're not expecting to hear.
That
I
would have
looked
made
at
me a
her.
little scared. I would have been like, okay.
But the reason that I said that was because of what I'm about to deliver to her.
Okay.
And I said, your confidence is freaking sexy. And she looked at me and she said, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you saying that to me.
Well, that's nice.
And I said that without hitting on her
No.
or anything of the sort.
I've been
like
in the
that.
gym with you. You're not, well, you're not creepy.
Thank you
You're
for that
trying to be.
compliment.
Unless you're trying to
Exactly.
be, because like
Exactly.
you work out
If
with
I'm
me,
totally clowning.
and then he'll work out with me and do. I'll be like, okay, now you're being creepy, and it's funny to him
Okay.
because of my
I could be
reactions. Because of my reactions, be
Which
like,
is
why would you
exactly
say
why I
that?
do that.
But you don't do that to randos. You do
No, you
that.
do
You do
not.
that to
No,
me,
because
and
it's
I'm always
real
like,
creepy.
really, stop it.
Yes.
So, but yeah, so so that leads me to like communication,
Yes,
because once you
communication.
build your confidence, you need to be able to communicate. And
Yes, indeed.
I say this almost every podcast because I'm going to bring it up right now, is the 4 agreements.
Okay.
And I live by that. And again, it is, the number one tenet in 4 agreements is be impeccable in your communication. Be impeccable in your
I agree with that.
communication. So,
I absolutely agree with that.
communication is key in relationships.
Yes.
In your view, what is the most effective Why is communication so vital? Why is communication so vital?
Well, that goes right back to mind reading.
Okay.
Your significant other, particularly your life partner, right? Because those are various different titles
Right.
in 2024.
That's very different.
Yes.
That's very different.
Although you may think, because they know you, they can read your mind, but literally they cannot. Therefore, you need to communicate and express how you feel and what it is that you want and desire from your partner. Because it'll be crystal clear. Now they know without a
Yeah.
shadow of a doubt.
Right.
And if you're not getting it, then we need to communicate more.
Right. So, what are some common communication barriers that, people in relationships, romantic and so have? Can couples work to overcome them?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you're together and you
Yeah.
want to be together for the rest of your life.
Right.
So you have to work through things.
Right.
Because if you don't, then it becomes a divorce.
Well,
a separation.
you and I have a difference of opinions about a
do.
couple things. Like you believe that husbands and wives, life partners should be best friends, and I disagree.
That's no. I know you. First of all, I know you disagree. I feel that life partners, if they're best friends, it makes for the best and healthiest relationships.
I think that they should be friends. I don't think they should be your best friend.
I understand that. And
Yeah.
we disagree.
We disagree
agree
on
to
that.
disagree. Yes.
We agree to disagree on that. We've debated this over
We
and
have.
over.
My wife and I are absolute BFFs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my thing is that I believe that you and your husband or wife or whatever should be.
have a wife, yes.
Yes. Well, I'm talking to the masses
I
right
know.
now. I believe that, it's very hard with your best friend,
Right.
you hold back sometimes.
I understand that, and I agree with you. Actually, I agree.
You go off on your best friend, you aren't going to be talking for a few days.
Yes, and I've had such. Actually, honestly, I experienced that in the beginning with my wife.
Yeah.
Because she used to get so angry with me.
Right.
About something that I did to upset her, and I didn't realize what it was.
Right.
So here we are. What are we talking about? Communication. So you know
Right.
what I said to her?
What?
I said, honey. I started with honey, so because you got to be sweet and soothe them a little.
Okay.
I said
That would just piss me off.
Okay, honey.
Don't do it.
Listen, this is
Don't do it.
this is what I said to her, and I said it. I was coming from the most loving place because I meant it. I said, listen, if there's something that I do that offends you or upsets you, just let me know, and I will apologize and do my absolute best to never do it again.
Right.
But if I don't realize that I'm doing something that you don't like, how do I know that I'm doing something wrong? Communication.
You're a man. You're always doing something wrong.
Even though I say yes, dear, all the time?
Yeah, even then. So, okay,
Oh,
just to
my.
bring this home about, relationships being toxic. In this digital communication age,
Yes.
how do couples maintain a fulfilling relationship without all the outside whatevers, all the, distractions and the Instagrams and the things?
Well, and I don't know, well, listen, from my perspective and my experience,
Yeah.
especially being with my wife, being married to my wife,
Yeah.
you're going to have the absolute best outcomes and the healthiest relationships when each partner puts the other one first, no one's losing out
Right.
because you're always being placed first.
Right.
And listen, this was something that was monumental in my relationship with my wife. When we began, I told her, I said, listen, we're keeping everybody out of our relationship,
Right.
period. You know, if there's something that we're disagreeing about, or if there's an issue with something,
Yeah.
we don't need someone else's opinion. We just need to communicate and solve it.
No, I don't need anybody's else's opinion, but I do need to talk about you behind your back. I am going to
See,
call one of my
but-
girlfriends and vent. I am.
No, I understand that, and
I
that's
am.
you.
She's not going to give her opinion. She's just going to be like, girl, I'm sorry. I totally understand. But yeah,
She's not
I'm
gonna
going to
give
do
her
that.
opinion?
No, she's
Oh.
not going to give her opinion.
Well, what's up with her communication skills?
Well, her communication skills are good because the thing is, she's not trying to get involved in my relationship.
Okay.
But sometimes as women, we need to complain about you and not to you. We need to talk to her.
man,
And then they'll say, girl, I know exactly what you're going through because he just pulled that shit on me last week. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of validation there also.
I hear that.
It's a little bit of validation there, but nobody's involved in the relationship. We just need to know, like, get a sanity check.
I understand.
A sanity check, because like, is it just me or what? But I've been finding as I grow in this world and,
Yes.
and have
As you grow.
anniversaries every
Yes.
year.
Yes, that happens.
I just need to learn that that these are things that you have to deal with in a relationship.
Well, that's why it's called a relationship.
Right. That's putting it very simple.
And also, it's important that people do what works for them.
Absolutely. Everybody's relationship is different.
Exactly.
But we can both agree that being your authentic self
Yes. Yes. 1,000,000,000%
and
there.
putting yourself in a space of confidence and knowing what
Absolutely.
you're,
Absolutely.
knowing what you deserve and holding
so
strong
important.
strong boundaries
Yes.
at that point.
Yes.
About what you will and will not accept
Yes.
in your personal space
Right.
for a relationship, and communicating, not expecting people to read your mind, always being open with your partner
Mm-hmm.
and in your platonic relationships.
Yes.
I have learned that over the last many decades, that boundaries, communication, authenticity,
Yes,
and
dear.
confidence are very,
Absolutely.
very important.
Hugely.
So hopefully we have expressed that to the Free of Fear, Full of Joy community.
I hope so.
I really do. But I want to also thank you for coming on the show. We're going to do one more together. But can you tell people where they can find you in the interwebs on the World
Yes, I
Wide Web?
can. And I would also like to say thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
You can find me at AM Inspirations, and that is with an S, 1. You can find me on all of my social media there. And on Facebook, it is Aaron McNair, Life Coach, and everywhere else it is AM Inspirations 1.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so on my podcast,
Yes.
we have a outro, which is where we say Free of Fear, Full of Joy 3 times.
Okay.
Can you do that with me, please?
I would love to.
Okay, ready? Here we
Yes.
go. Free of fear, full of joy. Free of fear, full of joy. Free of fear, full of joy. Thank you, darlings. Bye. Woohoo!